Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, fellas, we are back and we are here. So, just post your queries for whichever topic you have problem in any of the subjects of O&A levels. Feel free to write in the comments, and our team is working hard in order to provide you with some of the questions. Okay, so this is one of the expected questions which are expected for the recent attempt, that is the May June 2021. So this is from March 2020, question number 1. Right, I am gonna write it down as well so you can check back later. So March 2020, paper 22, of course, question 1. Okay, let's begin. So it says that the following information is available for S Limited, and this is a period given. This is what is the first part that they are asking. Prepare the income statement for the year ended 31st December 2019, and income statement is over here. Okay, so we have to prepare an income statement. So looks like pretty straightforward, right? Okay, so if you look at the points that we have to look for, it says that inventory, okay, included some damaged good which had a cost of $5,000. These goods can only be sold for $3,000 after repairs costing $700 have been carried out. So this is appearing to be the one working that we will be looking for. And for the interest, I think so the 6% debentures was issued on 1st September 2019, and we are standing at 31st December 2019. So looks like it's like pretty straightforward. Okay, and then there are things, okay, it's given over here. This is one of the things that we have to look for. Then administrative expenses prepaid are given. Amounts received during the year 31st December is this is revenue, our first item. Okay, administrative expenses are given over here and accrued as well. So we have to make an account of the administrative expenses. Okay, inventory is already there. Okay, so one is the administrative expenses. Okay, and the other, that the thing that we would be working for is the inventory. This is balance opening, closing inventory balance is given over here. Okay, so this is the closing inventory balance, and we have to make adjustments in this. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so the first thing, revenue. Okay, so revenue is amounting to what? It's pretty straightforward. 998 400 it is. Then we have to calculate the cost of sales. Cost of sales, and this includes opening, inventory, what's the amount? 122,000. Okay, then we have, after opening, we have purchases. Often they are like entries for purchases, but not this time. So what's the amount of purchases over here? Yes, 435. Okay, next is purchases. Anything else? We would be adding the two. 557,000. Okay, now we have to less closing stock, and as we are aware, there are a couple of things that we have to look for. For example, the cost, it costs 5,000. Okay, 5,000 it is, plus repairs cost 700. Finally it is sold for 3,000. So the final amount that we would be making adjustment for is 2,700 for the damaged goods, and where it is inventory ending, so I would be writing W1 first working, and this is all part of W1. Then we have in W1, yes, adjustment 134 200, right, minus 2700, and this is equivalent to 131 500. So 131 500. Using the calculator, we are getting an amount of 425 500. Subtracting this, and we are getting 572 900. Okay, this is equivalent to your GP. Then we have less expenses. The first one, administrative, is there, but first of all you will be doing the distribution. Those are like easier. Distribution costs. So this is 84475. Okay, now we have the administrative expenses, and this would be our longer working, because many entities relate to this. Okay, first of all, administrative expenses prepaid are given, then accrued are given, and the total is given, right? So for W2 administrative expenses, we have 298 875 minus the value 3875 because of opening and closing. Okay, so that's opening accrued, so subtracted, and closing prepaid, so again the same treatment, or you can do it with the help of an account, whichever way you want to do it. So this becomes 287 500. So this is 287 500. Now these accumulate to 371975. Okay, this becomes like profit from operations. If we subtract this, 209 to 5, this is profit from operations. Okay, next we have is the finance cost. You can say finance cost, you can say interest, whichever way you want to say it is. Finance cost, it's already given 6%, it says, but again the one thing that is mentioned is it was taking on 1st September, right? So only, and this is 31st December, so only a quarter of payments would be taking September, October, November, December, right? 4 months. So 4 upon 12 into 6% into 1 lakh. Okay, 1 upon 3, and this is equivalent to 2000. So simple as that, it is 2000, and it would be subtracted, and we are getting a final profit of 198 and 925. For those of you who have taken it in O levels, like this is the pretty much thing that we used to do over there for 20 marks. Okay, profit for the year is this. I think so it's pretty clear. Okay, moving forward. Part B. Part B is saying, okay, theory question. They are saying that what is meant by reserves are maintained in their most flexible form. Okay, flexible form means what? It means that it can be taken at any time without much of a hassle, right? So, can be taken at any time. So, the first priority for it is that if you look over here, these are the ordinary share premium, dividend is there, bonus is there, reserves are maintained in the most flexible form. So whenever whenever the dividend payment is to be made, then it can be done easily. So this is the main crux. So this is like using capital reserves before revenue reserves to facilitate future payments. Future dividend payments. So company accounts is one of those like which has a lot of theory. Theory is like which option to go for, one of those like either debenture or the capitals ones or the issue of share capital, etc. So these are pretty common. Okay, now prepare the ordinary share capital account for the year ended 31st December 2019. Ordinary share capital account. Okay, so if you recall, we have a profit of 198,925. Don't forget this, please. Okay. Okay, starting off, balance brought down 1 lakh, ordinary shares, then simple share premium 20,000, retained earnings 5,000. Okay, this is simple as that. We have what? 125, then okay, we have balance carried down, and this is 125. Okay. Okay, dates are important because like 4 marks, so like 31st December. And the starting of was Jan 1st. Okay, so you should write the dates as well. Next, now statement of changes in equity, right? Changes in equity means that if there is an addition being done, then you have to do that. If there is something like, if in any of these fields, to cut it short, if there is any addition subtraction throughout the year, you just do it and just add it, and that's the final total. So it's pretty much simple. Okay, so starting off with first Jan 1st, and we have 100,000, 20,000, retained earnings are given 1 to 6. So these are given 1 to 6, 2 3 0. If we add all of them, it becomes 2 4 6 2 3 0. Next thing, dividend. There are 2 dividend payments. Okay, an interim dividend of $0.08. Okay, $0.08 interim dividend was paid. Okay, $0.08 interim dividend. So simple 0.08 would be multiplied by 1 lakh, 8,000. Okay, and in the most flexible form they were saying, so 8,000 subtracted, this is 8. Another is there is a bonus issue, a bonus issue of 1 ordinary share for every 4 shares. Okay, so 1 lakh divided by 4. This is equivalent to what? 25,000. Okay. Next is the fact reserves are maintained in their most flexible form. This is the point where we would be using this most flexible form. So it means that we would be using both of them. Right? Since these are bonus issues, so we would be subtracting. And what's the maximum share premium that we can subtract? Sir, it's 20,000. Okay. So then how much is left out of 25,000? 5,000. Okay, you have to go like this. This is the trickiest part. Most of the students are unable to decipher right at this moment. Right now this is subtracted. What happens in bonus shares? Shares are issued, so 25 is added. So change is no change. Then comes a profit. Profit is 198 something. Yes, 198,925, and this is 198,925. Adding all of them, or just give one line space and then do this. Okay, so this becomes, if we do the totaling, 437,155. Easiest at this side, this one should be the highest of all. So this is the easiest. Okay, retained earnings, this, adding them, this becomes 312,155. This is nil, and this is 125,000. Right, 125,000 as in ordinary share capital, 125,000. Okay, coming to the part which has one of the greater marks, 9 marks, and this is been asked in different ways. For example, they say what's the difference between ordinary share capital and debenture. In any form they would ask similar questions. It's not different, it has been repeated since the early 2000s, you can say. Okay, the director are planning to acquire more machinery in the following and require a further investment of $50,000. They are considering 2 options. First is debentures. Right, the second is to make a right issue for every 5 shares held at a premium of $1 per share. Okay, first things, always remember there are 2, right? If you are issuing capital, right, what you have to do, you have to give dividend payments as a company, right? These are not mandatory. So this is first thing that you have to look for. If you have a profit, if and buts, right? If profit, then give it, otherwise not. Okay, so this is the thing. Second is, first is the debentures. In debentures, 2 payments. First payments, it's twice a year. What do you call? Bi-yearly, half yearly, and these are interest payments. And the second is a total payment at the end. So, okay, advise the directors on which option they should choose, justify your answer. So, these are the factors that you have to look for when writing. Okay, what are the additional benefits for the capital holders or stockholders? Additional benefits like attend the meetings and etc. So, these are the benefits for them, but we are considering as a thing, right? Advise the directors on which option they should choose. So we have to look for that, right? Another aspect could be, for example, there would be a change in shareholding. So some of the shareholding would be what, diluted, or some of them would be increased. So looking at these aspects. Okay, so starting off. So first of all, you would say that which option to choose. First of all, you would say that by choosing option 1, the directors would consider what? Half yearly payments of coupon, interest, half yearly interest payments, yearly interest payments, right? Mostly it's half yearly, 6 months or something, right? Plus you have to return complete payment at end. These are like constant, you have to do it no matter what, so mandatory you can say, right? This, then you have to give some added security like some of the assets of the company or something. So this is one of the things. Although the benefit would be that they don't have any voting rights, no voting rights. Although it would increase the leverage of the company, has an impact on different types of ratios as well, right? More leverage is not considered always a good option. Okay, option 2. In option 2, what you have to do? Make a rights issue. So shares are issue. So this is like a permanent capital. Then you have to pay dividends, but not always. If profit, if and buts. If profit, then dividend. So this is like you're saving some part of it. Next, they have a share on the voting or voting rights, you can say. Then this increases what? Equity holdings. But again, no security or mortgage or something like that is required. And then you have to justify which option to choose from. Mine would be like option 2. You can choose whichever you want. Okay, this is question number 1, which is like most likely expected in this year's majors exams. Hopefully you got it. This is the end of the session. Please write the feedback in the comments.